We exposed the wretched policy of appeasement which led to the terrorist listing in the first place, and which to this day still pervades and poisons our strategy in dealing with the evil Iranian regime. Now, like a cornered rabid dog, snapping and biting at anything within range, the regime even claims that the uprising which followed Ahmadinejad's stolen re-election was the handiwork of the PMOI. They may describe the PMOI as a grouplet, but it's clearly a grouplet that has awesome powers. Like the majority of Iranian citizens, we know that there is no realistic alternative inside the regime. Mir Hossein Mousavi became the figurehead leader of the Green Movement as the default opposition to Ahmadinejad after the blatantly swindled election fraud. But when it counted the most, the spineless extremist of the 1980s, Mousavi, betrayed even his own supporters in order to save his own neck. Now he is irrelevant when it comes to the opposition to the mullahs. The real hopes of tens of millions of Iranians is the PMOI, and that's why they are feared and loathed by Tehran. The mullahs believe that they can handle the West, but they don't know how to deal with the PMOI. They play games with the West, zigzagging through a succession of talks, always playing for time, stretching out the West's obsession with dialogue at any price, while in the secret bunkers and caves of Iran, manic activity continues to produce their first viable nuclear warhead. And we fall for it again and again. Baroness Ashton, our High Representative for Foreign Affairs, left Istanbul empty-handed last weekend. Ladies and gentlemen, if we go on playing for time, we will end up paying for time, and we will pay dearly. A nuclear-armed Iran will be a global threat. While the West continues to play these silly games, Iran spreads its evil influence across the Middle East. We handed Iraq to the mullahs on a plate. Now thousands of trained agents of the Iranian regime have infiltrated every strata of Iraqi society. And it's the same in Lebanon. Iran no longer hesitates to state publicly that its forward defense line now passes through Lebanon and Palestine. So we must stop this ludicrous game of hide and seek, abandon the failed policy of appeasement, and confront the mullahs before they gain hegemony in the Middle East. And it doesn't mean armed invasion. It means backing the main opposition in overthrowing the fascist dictatorship. It means taking the PMOI and the NCRI off the US terror list. And it means recognizing the symbolic importance of and providing protection for the brave residents of Camp Ashraf. It means stop talking to the despots and start listening to the people. Back the Iranian masses in their efforts to overthrow this brutal and corrupt tyranny. Back the PMOI in their efforts to bring democracy, freedom, women's rights and human rights to Iran. Back Mrs. Rajavi in her campaign to clear Iran of nuclear weapons. Ladies and gentlemen, 252 years ago today, on the 25th of January, our great Scottish poet Robert Burns was born. Burns hated tyranny in all its forms. And let me read you the final two short verses from his famous poem of praise, for King Robert the Bruce of Scotland, because I think it can serve as our battle cry here in Brussels today. By oppression's woes and pains, by your sons in servile chains, we will drain our dearest veins, but they shall be free. Lay the proud usurpers low, tyrants fall in every foe, liberties in every blow. Let us do or die. Thank you very much.